Hello, hello, how are you? Om Shanti, greetings of peace from the rainy south of France. How are you on this lovely Thursday? Yeah, that's what day it is. I'm just back from a crazy few trips to 3 different countries, trying to get situated and just super excited to be once again able to connect with this beautiful tribe. I am Dr. Andrea Pennington, host of Liberate Your Authentic Self, and I'm so glad that you have decided to tune in and join me for this little live discussion. I'm just excited. It's been too long. Been so long. You know what I'm saying? What's up, Sarah? Hello. Crystal, it's good to see you. And Sukad Muhammad. Yes. And what up, Trevor? How are you? Good to see my peoples back in the house. I hope that you all have been well. I'm feeling like I'm so out of the loop because I've been gone for 3 weeks. And for me, that's kind of a long time, simply because, I generally, when I get to take a trip for myself, it's very short. But yeah, this was a rare treat. And I would just love to share some of this with you because, as it sounds very cliche, when you go on one of these spiritual retreats and you're like all away in an ashram with beautiful people and wonderful spiritual teachers and meditating every day and doing other exercise and practicing silence, most people talk about having these grand epiphanies where they come back just completely, sorry, my phone is going off, where they come back completely transformed. And that's a little bit of what I experienced. And so I don't want to be a cliche, but what can I say? This is just where it is. So I'm excited to share with you a little bit about love and peace and hope and all of the other spiritual virtues. I was really touched by the beautiful Mali and Victor. Hello, beautiful Mali, who is one of our alumni from the America Meditating radio show that actually invited us on this beautiful retreat. And Mali is just a beautiful soul that I got to spend a little more time with, and watching how she and her beautiful husband Victor interacted, along with Corey and Paul Luftenegger. Some of you know beautiful music from Paul. Well, Corey and Paul were also on this trip with us, and Brother Salim and Reverend Ivy from the DC area, they were there. And seeing all of this love around me, these couples, has inspired me to believe in love again. I know that sounds really cheesy, but I'm telling you, this trip to India is like so full of cliches, but it's the real. This is the real deal. So grateful that you were able to be with us. And yeah, so I'm so glad that I got to hang out with you, Molly, and with Victor as well. It was a beautiful time. So I thought that I would just share a few of the insights. And Malia, I love the profile pic that you've chosen from when we were on Mount Abu. But in addition to believing again in love and marriage, I kicked off this 3 weeks, my daughter and I, with first a visit to Denmark, where my dear friend and soul sister, the co-founder of the Real Self-Love movement, Helene Philipsen, she got to exchange vows with her beautiful now husband, David Morris, who's also contributing to our upcoming book about life after trauma. And there's something magical when you go to a wedding of very mature people, each of whom has been married before. They've been down this path before. But to see how they have come together and blended their families, and just, I don't know, I guess witnessing over the last 1.5 years, almost 2 years, of seeing them and their family and then being able to fly in for the wedding. It was one of those things that I don't know, it just yeah, it renewed my faith that, you know, that saying that there's someone for everyone. For those of you who know my dear friend Helene Philipsen, who's flying now to the US of A to celebrate their love, she's crazy, like me, you know, we're a little different. And she and Dave are so well matched, and the deep spiritual bond of love, I'm not going to give away any secrets, but you'll read about it in one of our upcoming books. Like, the connection they have defies logic. You know how everybody goes through kind of their checklist on paper of the kinds of people that they feel like they should marry or be with? Well, theirs is not like just on paper. It's like you see them and you hear some of the stories of what they've been through with and for each other. And it's like, yeah, this is real deal. Real deal. So I definitely had to make this time off a priority, because I don't know about you, but when you're running a business or even just working, sorry, I've got something in my eye, working so hard, raising my daughter, running this global business, I realized that it's never a good time to go on vacation. It's one of those things that for us running a media agency and a publishing company, we've got authors in process all the time. And, you know, my clients get VIP treatment, some who take a little more than others. And it's like, it's never a good time. I mean, I don't know about you. What's your self-care routine? Do you take time off for you to recharge? Well, in the words of Mali, who has is now running a beautiful company with her beloved Victor Cora Nazario, they help leaders reconnect to their deep why, their vision, their mission, and what got them into business in the first place. And that's what taking this time off did for me. It allowed me to reconnect with the deep-seated passion I have for helping light workers and healers and coaches get their message out to the world. I have this, I don't know, someone thinks it's a little cheesy, but I have this deep heart of compassion that inspires me to want to end suffering on the planet. And a few years ago, I decided that I would do nothing but be aligned in what I believe is my life purpose, my dharma, and bring together all of my skills and talents and interests so that every day my work, my life is about helping to end suffering in one way or another. And I was able to really reconnect with that on this trip. After I left Denmark, I went to the United States to visit my parents. And, you know, again, it's one of those things, it's like, getting to the U.S., making the time is one of those things that you just have to do, especially when your parents are getting a little bit older. And visiting my mom and my dad, just kind of, they're so completely different. They live in different cities in Nevada, so it was like kind of crazy to get from one to the other. But it was really beautiful because my mother, who has pretty advanced Alzheimer's, when she was with us a couple of years ago here in France, she went through some really challenging periods. We all did, as she was dealing with depression and anger and irritability, which is not uncommon for people with dementia. They go through these regular phases, but it was really hard to watch. And this time, visiting my mom was a little different. She is now in a stage of her dementia where her short-term memory is really, really short. And one of the things that my mother loves is music. And so we just decided that we were just going to come, no expectations, but just try to shower her with love and fun while we were there because we only had a few days. And that's exactly what we did. Om Shanti, Angela, who was with us on this trip to India. And hello, Naman, Om Shanti. Yes, I am back from India now. I'm back home in France. And Yes, Naman, living as your authentic self is really important. And you learned it from me? Well, I learned it from my mama. She has really been this very feisty little woman. And the thing about that is, so seeing her now, where her short-term memory is so short that it's literally just a few minutes. So you'll tell her something, and then a few minutes later, she'll be asking you the same question. But what we did is we just decided to have fun. So my daughter and I downloaded a bunch of music that we know my mom likes. You know, she's from British Guyana, you know, the West Indies, so she loves her reggae, so we downloaded some of that. But she's, you know, a child of the 30s, and she loves like the old style of music. So downloaded some Sinatra and some Michael Bublé. And it was the cutest thing because we were playing this music, and my mom was like having a conversation with the music as if they were singing to her. And it was so precious to see because her whole energy changed. She got kind of flirty, but kind of coy. Nothing like how she was, you know, when she was in her heyday. But Mom was listening to one of the songs that we played by Michael Bublé. And, you know, he does all these very retro songs where nothing like the music of today. It was very, you know, sweet, you know, talking about picking you up and taking you on a date. And so she literally started having a conversation as if Michael Bublé was singing to her. And she was like, oh, listen to him. Oh, I like his voice. She's like, who is that? And I'm like, Mom, it's Michael Bublé. And she's like, oh, he can sing to me. So she's kind of dancing and singing along. And then like a minute and a half into the song, she'd ask again, oh, I like that voice. Who's that? We're like, it's Michael Bublé, Mom. So the fun part about that, I mean, yes, it's sad. My mom has Alzheimer's. Fortunately, she still remembers me. She still remembers my daughter. But what's cute about this experience is that she's in the happy phase of dementia. She's in the phase where she's not focused on every little thing that's wrong. She's actually just appreciating whatever goes right. And so it was cute to watch her, you know, feel like she was being serenaded by Michael and rediscovering his voice every couple of minutes. And then it was funny because after we'd been there, we'd only been there for like an hour and a half. And I gave her some lunch. Sienna tried to get her up to dance. She wouldn't. She was just dancing in her chair. But then she started to shift, and she was like, you need to go out there now. I'm good now. You need to go out and live your life. And we're like, Mom, Grandma, we came all this way to spend time with you. We're good. We're here for you. And she just said, oh, but I'm fine. I'm fine. Life is for the living. Go out there and live your life. You should be doing something. You should be going somewhere. So it was really kind of heartbreaking, but also very sweet because she's just in a stage where she's like, she appreciated her comfy pillow. She appreciated the food. She appreciated our presence. She definitely appreciated Michael Bublé serenading her. And she was just like, I want you to go live. Like, I want you to go live. And this is something that she said to me a lot a couple of years ago after she saw my TED Talk, Become Who You Really Are. And to your point, Naman, I want to be like my mom because she got to a point, and I've told this story before, I know, I'm sorry, but a few years ago when I played the TED Talk that has now gotten over 1 million views, I showed it to my mom, and this was at a time when her memory was just about 20 minutes. And you know, TED Talks, they're 18 minutes. So it was perfect. She was like glued to the computer watching my TED Talk. And it, just like with her Michael Bublé thing, she was kind of like acting like it was happening live and talking back to me as she was watching the video. And she got to the end of this TED Talk and she said, I can tell you're doing your master's work. And this was a phrase that my mom used. You know, she believes her master or God has a plan for us and we're meant to do God's work while we're here on the planet. And she told me even back then that she felt very confident that if she died, or in her words, if I cock up my toes today, I know that I will meet my maker and he will say, job well done. And this has been something that has really stayed with me over the years because I want that. I want to be as fierce and authentic as my mom. Now, I know some of y'all that have met my mom know she was feisty. She still is. Very opinionated. This little 5'2" little, short stuff from Guyana. She's a feisty woman, but she lived her truth and she dedicated herself to her patients. Sometimes I felt like she wasn't home enough for us, but of course now, being a parent, I get it, especially a single parent. And this idea that we can actually get to a point in our life where we would literally say, if I died today, I'm okay with that. I know that the divine will say, job well done. You have been doing God's work on the earth. And it still blows me away to this day. And so visiting with my mom was sweet. This time there was none of that depression, and it really was just nice. It was just nice to touch home base with her. And then my daughter and I flew up to northern Nevada, where my dad lives in the middle of nowhere. He lives in the Ruby Mountains of Nevada, so we had to fly to Salt Lake and then take a little puddle jumper, a little prop plane over to Elko, Nevada to visit with him. And it was so fun because we actually got to attend one of his courses. He's teaching mathematics at Great Basin College. So we're sitting in the front row and I'm getting a reminder lesson of, what were we doing? The slope of a line. And anyway, it was fun seeing him in action because he's a little nerdy like me. Where do you think I got it from, right? So it was really sweet to just spend time, and he just adores spending time with Sienna and took us out into the mountains for hikes. And it's one of those things where being out in nature and reconnecting to your parents, for some of my clients, they tell me, yeah, when I go see my family, I remember all the things I don't want to be. Some people don't want to be like their parents, and I've definitely gone through those phases, but it was nice to see them. And then we headed over to 1440 Multiversity in Scotts Valley, California, where my dear friend, Karina Virginia, who's one of the contributing authors to an upcoming book of mine called Magic and Miracles. I have 2 books coming out next month, and the beautiful Gita Vintergraugard, hello Gita, is also in that book, and so many others. I will name all of them soon. But Karina has also shared a story in this upcoming book. And it's kind of crazy because she is when I think of all the people who've had a lot of magic in their life, she is one person that immediately comes to mind. Because from a very early age, she could feel the presence and even see angels. So to be able to teach with her for 5 days, this is our second time we've run this retreat at 1440, it was just amazing because the people were able to go through this beautiful transformation. And I guess that's why I want to kind of summarize some of the insights. I said this is part 1 of my summary of my traveling to these 3 different countries, because as I'm preparing to head to London next week for Speak from the Heart, which is my authentic speaker training, I'm going with renewed passion, renewed focus, if you will. Running a business and staying connected to your original vision and then working in alignment with your values has been what I've been all about. And it means that, of course, profits are important, but it's the experience that we all have. It's this sense of personal and professional fulfillment and pride, which for me are really now at the forefront. I really believe these are of paramount importance. Because when we lose sight of the vision, or we disconnect from the big why, that underlying reason and motivation for doing what we do, I see that we risk getting swept up into the busyness of business without that nurturing connection to that soul nectar. It's that that nourishing nectar of doing good and being a contribution to a larger purpose or a larger cause. It's what Mali and Victor are doing with their company, SOAR. And so while I was at 1440 with Karina and Trevor, you were there, and some other beautiful souls who flew in from various countries and all across America, we saw exactly what can happen when there's a true alignment of your vision and your deepest values, and what can happen when excellence is a part of every aspect of your business, where kindness, friendliness, beauty and aesthetics, peace, respect, and harmony. I'm reminded of one of the sayings from the Brahma Kumaris, which is give comfort, receive happiness. Because that's exactly what we saw. We saw that this campus, right in the Redwood forest, you're just completely nurtured, first and foremost, by Mother Nature. And then next, the way that they have designed this, 65-acre campus, or was it more than that? Anyway, it's a ginormous campus where every single detail is meant to inspire, to give comfort. When you think of the intention that had to go into this place when they built it, it's incredible. And so with this intimate retreat that we hosted, the Inner Bliss Outer Glow retreat, we saw all of these people who came from near and far, and we were in basically a cocoon of peace and love. And that's the kind of environment that allows the openness, the vulnerability that each of us needs to really explore what it takes to know yourself, to accept yourself. Being in that environment really allows you to look at life from a new perspective, make peace with the past if that's what you need to do, and to really have a new perspective on the future, a perspective which is inspiring and inviting. So stay with me, because it's going to be a big contrast from what we experienced at 1440 Multiversity versus a little bit of what I saw in India. And the beautiful Reverend Sylvia Sumter, hello you. I'm glad to have you here. She was with us in India, and she shared some really amazing insights as well. So, so much exciting stuff. So where was I? So while we were at 1440 Multiversity in California, it was one of those retreats. Again, we were so nurtured by the food and the environment and the space that it really allowed Karina and I, as facilitators of this workshop, to take the participants really deep. So there were a lot of tears and laughter and hugs and kundalini and self-exploration in the beautiful redwoods. My daughter, Sienna, was also with me, so it gave us time to reflect on the many, many blessings in our life, while we both got a chance to kind of detox from some of the drama that we saw unfold this year. This has been a crazy year for us. So I really came away with a reconnection to my motivation for the way that I help others to heal through these deep experiences of sharing and nurturing and practicing spiritual and energy healing techniques. It just really helped me reconnect. Hello, Helen Ribello. Lovely to see you here. Helen has got a book coming out that we will be celebrating very, very soon, called The Magical Unfolding. I do feel grounded and centered. I know you've traveled the world as well, so you know how it feels when you really go to a different culture where everything is completely different than what you experience at home, and you reconnect to your core values, and that's exactly what happened for me. So yeah, and it's one of those things. As the managing director running a global business, I am looking, of course, for ways that I'm going to increase profits and serve more people. But that connection and witnessing another human being tune into that healing vibe of love and compassion, that love for life, that compassion for self. That's why I do what I do. And I truly believe that each of us has a gift to offer others and to the world. And I feel like I've reclaimed my gifts and faced some really tough decisions about changes that I will make in my business starting today as a result of this 3-week jaunt around the world. And I'll be honest, it has been through meditation that I've been able to kind of calm my mind and get present to my core self, my soul, which knows, your soul knows that saying no to some things or some people, it may sting for a short while, but it will pass. And there is no suffering when the solutions that we create from that inspired connection, that soul space, connecting to source, when we create from that awareness, you end problems. It ends problems for me, for you, and all of the people that we serve. And so during this retreat, we explored a whole variety of life situations that some of our attendees were going through. And some of them are very, very serious, unbearable to navigate, one would think, or unbearable. And yet each of the participants told me that they left feeling more awake, or woke, as we might say, more inspired and confident that they could make the changes and take inspired action in alignment with their highest visions, dreams, and values. And so it's been an awesome, awesome experience. You can engage in many of the practices that we did by reading the new book, Kundalini Yoga, published by Sounds True, featuring my co-facilitator, Karina Virginia, and Dharam Khalsa, who wrote that with her. And also my book, I Love You, Me. In both of our books, we cover the types of processes that we work on in these meditations, in these retreats, including the meditations, which you can actually access those for free by visiting realself.love. I'll even type it here. Maybe I won't. Hey, Allison. It's good to see you, my friend. Welcome back. Yes, I am happy to be back. So if you want to check out all of the goodness, free meditations and such, just visit realself.love, and you'll be able to tune in. And also, if you'd like to get monthly lessons and guided group meditations, you can join my Resilience Superpower membership. It's just $1 for the first month. And what I shared at the retreat and what I share each month in the membership is how we can put the new science of epigenetics and modern neuroscience into use, into practice, so that you can rewire your brain to experience more joy, that calm confidence, hope, and it can also help you to enhance your ability to heal. If you'd like to join us, just visit attunementmeditation.com/course. I love it because as I've reconnected to my sense of purpose for why I'm doing what I do in the world, one of the things that I realized is having a direct impact on people. I came from the world of media, where having my TV show and anchoring the news and working at Discovery Channel and then later for Lux TV, reaching millions of people is great on an ego level. But there's nothing that's more fulfilling to me than getting a message from someone, or an email or a letter, or somebody who flies in for an event who's been following me online, and we're like, oh my God, it's you. And it's that one connection, knowing that one life has been touched and transformed, and knowing that it's going to have this ripple effect is awesome. And so the meditation work that I teach and in this course is also part of our Superpower membership, and it's life-changing. And the cool thing is that then for those of you that have wanted to work with me and I have not had any space in my academy, you'll be able to work with me on a monthly basis and go through these group healing meditations. And I'm excited about that. And so whether you're an experienced meditator or you're just starting out, you'll actually find that the 5-step meditation process that I teach will actually heighten your abilities to bring that healing and harmony to your body and mind. It'll help you calm down the crazy stress response, and also awaken and amplify your superpowers. See, I really believe that each of us have talents and abilities and a hidden potential to thrive and rise above the mundane side of life. And by joining us in this superpower membership, we're going to help you unlock and utilize your potential through our monthly meetings. And when the time is right, then you can join me and some other members of our empowering tribe for some of our retreats around the world. So I am happy to be home. I'm happy to be reconnected to my deep inspiration for why I do the work that I do. I'm also very happy to be reconnected to all of you as we get ready for fall here. It's a little crazy. Especially because we have, 4 books coming out. We have the lovely Helene Philipsen's book coming out. We have Yvette Taylor's book, The Ultimate Self-Help Book. And we have Magic and Miracles. Oh, I have to show you Magic and Miracles because I just really think it's gorgeous. I love, love, love what my designers have created with this Magic and Miracles book. Some people that you may have seen me or heard me interview on this show, Liberate Your Authentic Self, include, oh gosh, I should just pull up the list because then I won't miss anybody, because I always feel guilty when I miss people. So I'm going to pull it up. Yes, Shireen, darling, I am coming back to London. I will be there next weekend for my Speak from the Heart authentic speaker training in London, and then celebrating the book launch of the beautiful Helen Rebello. Do I have your permission, Helen, to show yours? As the publisher, I'm going to take a little liberty and show you Helen Rebello's amazing book cover because it's awesome sauce. Oh gosh, how am I going to do this? I will find it, just a second. So yes, Shireen, I am coming to London. I will be there doing what I do, teaching my stuff. Hello, Charlotte. She is one of our authors as well. I know I'm going to see you in London. Super excited about that for our Speak from the Heart training. Doesn't this look awesome? The Magical Unfolding, 8 magical processes for peace, potential, and purpose by the beautiful Helen Rebello. We are celebrating her book launch in London, in Windsor, a place that I've actually never been, but I am super duper looking forward to it. So that's going to be exciting. So we have her book coming out. We have, as I just mentioned, Yvette Taylor's The Ultimate Self-Help Book. And what else do we have? We have Life After Trauma. Life After Trauma includes stories by, I'm just going to pull it up. I'm going to pull up the author list so I don't miss anyone. Funmi Anjorin, Gazit Chaya, Stefan Conradi, Karen Eek, Stina Mo Engelschrud, Anna Frostin, Caroline Hake, Paul Luftenegger, David Morris, Gila Nehemia, Abby Pearsall, Marika Stasser, Taz Thornton, and Joyce Wazirali. I'm going to get all of these perfect eventually. And then for the Magic and Miracles book, we have Charlotte Banff, Stefan Conradi, Trude Dibbenhall, Karen Eek, Helena Goldstein, Gita Winter-Graugard, Diane Howarth, Malin Hedlund, Carolyn Hake, Elspeth Kerr, Paul Luftenegger, again, Nina Summer, Miriam Thiel, Taz Thornton, again, Margareta Tosi, Lena Heiselberg-Vong, Karina Virginia, Joyce Wazirali, and Kimberly right. So it is super exciting. Yes, Helen, oh my gosh, I said Windsor. I've never even been to Windsor. We'll be in Bristol for your book launch. Forgive my brain, okay? Forgive me. Anyway, yes, I'm so glad to know that you are looking forward to Speak from the Heart, Charlotte. It's going to be awesome. You will be the recipient of all of my enthusiasm for helping each of our authors really kick their game up to the next level to get your message out to the world. There are still tickets available. I don't know if you're here. Sarah Brandis, can you pop up the link for Speak from the Heart? If you'd like to join us, we have a few spots. It's a very small, intimate gathering where I actually get to coach, mentor, and teach the process that I use for speaking from the heart so that you engage the mind and touch the soul of your audience. We all need to feel like we're confident in what we're doing as speakers, but one of the things that I really believe in is making sure that what you're doing is aligned with your heart and soul, and coming from a place of authenticity. So I'm super excited about that. Thank you, Gita. It was awesome to have you speaking at Speak from the Heart last year, and she also spoke at our Real Self-Love Days in Denmark. It was awesome. Really awesome. So we are planning a bunch of book launch parties in various cities and countries around the world. So looking forward to share more of that as it unfolds. But this is what I wanted to share with you today. I just wanted to share a little bit of some of the perspectives that came from my trips around the world. And the last, so after we left 1440 Multiversity, we headed to Denmark again, where I landed at like 1 p.m, and at 7 o'clock I was on stage speaking at Anja Stensig and Inger Holt's Unfold Your Love event with some other beautiful souls that were there. Yvette Taylor was there, my dear friend and soul sister Solveig Thorarinsdottir, who is the author of Hot Yoga and contributor to Time to Rise, along with Gita. I got to see Gita, but I didn't get to give her a hug. And Ausha was there. They played their amazing spiritual gong. I won't even call it music. It's more of a transformational, vibrational experience. So it was so awesome to be able to witness them being there. And I saw you there too. I did get to give you a hug, Zazie. It was a quick trip because I literally landed, did the keynote, left the next morning on my way to India. It was quite a little trip. We flew into Doha, Qatar, and then into Ahmedabad, or Ahmedabad, depending on where you're from, India. And then the beautiful people from the Brahma Kumaris, which this organization, I mean, this is the other piece of what has really reconnected me to my heart and my soul for what I'm doing. And that is, the Brahma Kumaris is the largest female-guided spiritual organization run by volunteers, doing so much good work in the world. And the way in which they do this work it's mind-blowing. When we got to India, the first thing that we felt was this safe embrace. I will say that simply because I'm a single woman with my kid going to India for the first time. I just wanted to feel like, can I manage all of this? Unfortunately, we see all these images of the crazy traffic and the noise and the, everyone there. And yes, we did experience that. But the Brahma Kumaris, the brothers that picked us up, and there were several of us. I mean, we weren't alone. There were, I guess, 15 or 20 of us coming from multiple countries. They have centers all around the world teaching meditation, type of meditation called Raj Yoga, and it was awesome. So it was wonderful to be met at the airport. We were kind of, again, put into this safety cocoon, taken to a place where we could rest. I mean, the people at the Lotus House and the Diamond Lotus House in Ahmedabad were so gracious. It was really just a beautiful way to be welcomed into the country. And then we took this 4.5-hour taxi up to Mount Abu, which was, oh my gosh, it was amazing. And that was when we got our first taste of real India. Okay, I mean, like the India that we're all stereotypically seeing all the time, where I tell you guys, these drivers, the taxi drivers and everyone else on scooters, like, mind you, these people are riding around on scooters and mopeds, 3, 4, 5 people deep, no helmets, and there's like, no traffic lines and stoplights, and it's just this craziness that to me as an outsider looks like chaos. But after about an hour into the taxi ride up the mountain, I got to a point where I recognized these people are tuned in. Like they know the flow. It's kind of like what I saw when I drove in Italy. It's like you kind of have to just watch the flow and then become one with the flow, one with the Tao. But it was crazy scary at times because I'm like, oh my gosh! We had no seat belts in the back seat of these cars, and it was like, really? How? So it was all about faith and trust and surrender. I know that doesn't sound very good, but that's what it was like. And then when we got up to Mount Abu and saw the spiritual headquarters of where the Brahma Kumaris started, again, just you step onto the campus and it's like you stepped into another dimension. If you can imagine having hundreds of people who get up at 3:30 or 4 o'clock in the morning to do their meditation, and they're meditating on spiritual virtues of purity and peace and love and kindness and compassion. And there's this sense of just one-mindedness, single-mindedness. They're all working to, in their words, to reveal Baba's light. Baba meaning Father or God or Source. And so when you get to witness how seamlessly things work, it was really awe-inspiring. And when we got to our Gyan Sarovar, the part of the campus that our Peace of Mind retreat was being held, there were 275 of us from, I can't remember the number of countries they said. It was 20, 30, I don't know. But from all these different countries, we got to tour and see how they've got these beautiful and amazing solar discs on top of one of the buildings, capturing sunlight, turning it into heat vapor, and that's what they're cooking with. And the gray water system to, keep the grounds all green and beautiful. It's just amazing. It's for one of us eco-friendly, earth-loving people. It was pretty amazing to see how much they're doing for their community and beyond. But one of the things that struck me was Sister Jenna and I and several of the people that have been on her America Meditating radio show, she invited us to share some wisdom for a documentary movie around this concept of the power of thought. And I was enlisted to help direct and create a coherent stream of consciousness between all of us. We had like 12 of us who were contributing our wisdom. And there is so much wisdom in our tribe. Like, these are leaders from around various disciplines, from reverends and pastors and speakers, doctors, healers, therapists, singers, musicians. It was amazing. But one of the things that Sister Jenna was talking to me about, as she herself was shooting 8 episodes, or I think she got almost 8 episodes done in their studio, plus she was speaking at this World Summit of Peace that they had, and they hosted thousands of people there. plus working with our retreat group. One of the things she said was, when you have an organization that is aligned in their vision and their values of living their values of peace and purity, and they have a single focus to bring forth teaching and meditation to help people on their spiritual journey. She said one thing that really, really stuck with me. She says, when everyone is aligned, things can happen fast, and there's no drama. There's no ego. And if ego gets flared up, it's like, their spiritual training is like, check yourself, check in. Where are you coming from? And it just reminded me of when I started my company, that was the founding value of making sure that all of my team members, my contractors were all aligned in our values, aligned with the vision that we want to help people spread their messages of healing and harmony and hope and inspiration. But we also want to do business in a way that is beneficial for us, beneficial for our families, for those of us that take care of families, and cats are included, dear Sarah, and also doing good in the world. It gets back to, what I was saying about my mother, feeling like the work that you actually do is making a difference on a larger scale than just putting cat food in the bowl and food on the table. What would it be like if you decided to align your life in all aspects with your deepest values, your highest visions and ideals? And what if you only surrounded yourself with people who were aligned in that way? And that's what I have endeavored to do with my company, Make Your Mark Global, and with our new company, Innate Vitality. And what I recognized was a couple of the snags and hiccups that happened this year. 2018 has been, it has been interesting. But one of the things that I had to do, and it was really nice to have Sister Jenna's support. I'm so grateful that she was available to us over this year and mentoring and being a voice of reason as my daughter and I process some things, both in life and business. But one of the things that I've had to do is make some tough decisions about cutting back on certain projects, saying no to some projects, even if they were, big ticket items for the business. I've had to say no to certain people. I've had to cut certain people out of my life and out of my business. But what I got reconnected to by seeing how the Brahma Kumaris organized all of these events for all of us, as well as their campuses. We got to visit one of their global hospitals, which gives free care to those who can't afford or who don't have government assistance, as well as paying patients. We were there for the inauguration of a new dialysis machine. And there were a couple of patients who were hooked up, and it was like all of us coming in there praying, giving good energy and good vibes so that the machines always work, that the staff are in good health and good care, and that the patients receive what they need. Being a part of this, it was not like the medical experience I had in America when I was a doctor in the hospital. It just reconnected me to the humanity as well as the spiritual essence that we all share. Like, we are all souls on this path of ascension, this path or journey of awakening. And while we're here on earth, we go through some drama and trauma. We get confused thinking that this body is us, or that our egoic personality is us. And that brings up strife and suffering. And being around people who are just so tuned in to say, no, we relate from the soul. Yes, we take care of the earth, and we take care of the earth's inhabitants with kindness and compassion. That's all I can say. It just reconfirmed and reaffirmed why I do what I do. And it also gave me that peace of mind. That was the name of the retreat, the Peace of Mind Retreat. It restored my peace of mind in coming back home to continue the good work that I'm doing with my company, with many of the people who are here, people who have attended my workshops or lectures. I don't like to call them lectures because I don't really lecture, but you know what I mean. For my upcoming TED Talk that I'll be doing in April, retreats, the books that we publish, the radio shows, the documentary films, it just really helped me reconnect to the why and to refocus on not taking on anything or anyone that is going to derail me from that mission. It doesn't matter how fabulous their messages, their status or celebrity in the world, and it doesn't matter how much money people throw at us or offer us. I want to feel like I'm confident that everything that I'm putting out is aligned and the people that I work with are aligned. And so I thank all of you who have been with me this year, and of course beyond that. As many of you know, it has been a crazy year. I have gone through some stuff. I need to write a book about the stuff I went through, but I think that's a couple years down the line when I get even a little more spiritual perspective, because it was crazy. But I thank you. I really do want to thank you for being a part of my life and this tribe, your patience with me, and the love, because I have felt so much love. In doing one of our meditations, I have to show you this picture. We hiked, actually I don't think I have it here. We hiked up to this rock. They call it Baba's Rock because the founder of the Brahma Kumaris used to meditate there. 5,000 feet above sea level, looking out over the vast, vast land. They say you could see into Pakistan. We were there for a Twilight Meditation. And that was absolutely magical. Because being in that space was like, I don't even know. It was magical. I mean, I don't really have a better word for it. Sorry, that sounds like completely lame. I told you this whole experience has been like, I don't know, several cliches. But being in that space and being able to just meditate, I tuned into the love of many of the people who are watching here. And if you're watching on the replay, I thank you. I could feel the souls and the love of this tribe. And that made me feel like, I almost had to ask for forgiveness. If I haven't been fully present for you, please forgive me. In the busyness of all of the work that I had been doing, I didn't want you to feel like you weren't important. So I hope that you didn't. But it definitely helped me reconnect to y'all. And the last thing I'll say before I jump off of here is that we also were honored to meet a couple of times over Daddy Jenki. If you don't know who that is, she is this woman here who's giving me a little gift called Toli, which is a little sweet. Daddy Jenki is the spiritual head of the Brahma Kumaris. She's 102 years old. And I'll tell you what, everyone said the same thing. The moment that you were in her presence, you instantly felt the peace, love, wisdom. Can you feel wisdom? I felt wisdom. And just the purity. And there's something that they do where you look into each other's eyes, and it's called drishti, where you're literally looking into soul to soul and wishing someone good, positive thoughts. And to have received, or I should say exchanged drishti with Daddy Jenki a couple of times, because we got a little special VIP trip to the lower campus of the Brahma Kumaris there, and got to be with her privately. And it was like, this idea of being connected to the purity of what it can mean to be a human was just amazing. And so that's what I'm tuned into. That's what I am committed to bringing forth in my life and in my work. So for those of you that I will see next week and the week after in the UK, just know that I love you. I'm bringing you many blessings. I look forward to connecting with you and sharing on a deep level, like I like to do. I like to go deep, so that we can both, so that we can all truly experience what it means to love and live from the soul, and to align our work and yes, even our play with the deepest of our values and virtues and the highest of our ideals and our visions. So my friends, it's been good to see you. Namaste. Thank you for being with us. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti. I look forward to seeing you again. Hey, I'm back, so hey, we can go live and have these conversations again. Isn't that great? All right, my friends, much love to you from the cloudy south of France. I will see you again very, very soon. Much love. Bye.